Hello, Futurist Gamer here. Today I'm going to be talking about longevity. Sit down, this is going to be a long one. So, longevity is your lifespan, essentially. Now, within the next couple of years, this is what's going to happen with that. They're going to make some major breakthroughs. Like, major. This is what I mean by that. You're not going to die, unless you get shot. But you're not going to die of old age. Because in about 20 years we're going to hit this thing called dimensional. No, we're going to hit longevity escape velocity. Now what that means is we are going to reach a point where every year we're going to be increasing our lifespans with medicine by more than a year. Basically, we're not going to age anymore, and we're actually going to start unaging gradually. So you're not going to be living a million years as some old geezer. No, you're going to be living another millennia, another couple billion years at your prime, and probably better. That's what this means. Now, longevity is a pretty big deal, as you can guess from this, but it comes with its fair share of problems. And that's also what I'm going to have to talk about, and show you why it's not as big a deal as you would think. But back to longevity, they're going to do this using many things. Genetics, for one. They found a gene in some mice that supposedly could increase our lifespan by 30 years. And they divided aging into 7 different things, which I'm not going to list here because they're random scientific names that would mean nothing to you. Basically, any individual one of these, if they're solved, which they're already working on, would also increase your life by 30 years. After about 4 more of them are done, you won't age at all. Anything else could be treated easily if at least 4 of them are done out of 7. That means we won't age. We've already got them mapped out and what we need to do. It's a sickness. It's a sickness that there are people already devoting their lives to cure. It is a gradual process and the collection of damage in our bodies, the collection of error in our genetic code, and junk built up around our cells, and that is what we can stop, and eventually stop from happening altogether. So, first problem, food. With nobody dying, more people are going to be born, and we're going to increase our population enormously. So, what's going to happen with this is that we are going to have to rethink how we feed people. We're going to have to change. We're going to have to, instead of having these massive sprawling fields, which are good, we're going to have to build buildings. Have you heard of vertical farms? They're giant skyscrapers. These enormous buildings that each layer is a farm, making the land crazy efficient for food. Try if you made an acre-sized one. You would multiply it by whatever number of stories you put on it. So yeah, that's far more efficient. But what we're doing now is that just building a skyscraper on every inch of farmland is kind of going to be difficult. But we work with hydroponics. And what that is, you build a building, which is still building, and you could make it higher. But you can do this with an apartment building. You don't have to build a special building. You just have to have floor space and some materials, and you have a hydroponic system which grows things far more efficiently than would a regular field. So, you got food. Now there's going to be a major demand for electronics because of Moore's law. Computers are going to get more and more powerful, and they're going to become more and more widespread for cheaper, but this is going to need more power with more people using them. So, solar. Solar is kind of expensive now, but that's because it only uses about 12% efficiency of the sun's energy, and they're expensive to make. Now, we're working on things now already, some things working with graphene, and we're making new progress every day. Eventually, the efficiency is going to go up to a really high percent. They've already got ones that can work at 40, but they're more expensive. And their cost will go down too, until eventually it gets cheaper than coal. It just has to be a penny less, and solar wins. Edison, not Edison. You were right. So, yeah, did you hear about that? Ford and Edison, they made this little deal, or not deal, a bet, more or less. What would be the energy, what would be the fuel source for modern cars and cars of the future? Well, Ford said gasoline, and Edison said electricity. So Ford won in the short run. Who's going to win in the long run? Edison. Because coal ain't going to be any more effective. So, there's power, there's food. There's a few more problems though. Overpopulation. This is obvious, but the main problem is, where are you all going to live? Well, we're not even using all the land mass of the planet right now, so that's not going to be a major issue. But we can also build floating islands, which are enormously beautiful and effective. So, you build those, what do you got? You got land mass, and you've got ocean space. So that dramatically increases your possibility of living. The more people can live on the oceans, especially considering there's more ocean than land. And eventually when that gets built up, by then, we still got space. What do we have out there? We have a galaxy. Billions of stars. Each one potentially has a planet. Or planets. Now we go to each and every one of those, see which of these could we live as? Which of these are hospitable, or at least potentially with terraforming? We get all of those, terraform if we must, and make a civilization there. We can spread across the entire universe. Because not only that, there's as many galaxies as there are stars in our galaxy. So that's quite a significant number of stars out there. And we got a long time to do this. Now, we got boredom. Boredom is a pretty big deal here. Why would you want to live forever? Because you got billions of years where, what are you going to do? Well, like I said, computers are going to get more and more powerful. So, what's going to happen when they get faster and more powerful than the human brain, which is not even close to being done yet, but like I said, Moore's Law is what that's called. So, we have computers that are more powerful than the human brain. What do? What we're thinking of doing, and what many futurists are thinking of doing, becoming transhuman. Merging your mind with that of a computer. Now that's pretty amazing, if it brings up ethical issues, but it's still pretty amazing. You can increase your own mental capacity by a ridiculous amount. You can think faster. You can hook your mind up to the internet. We're already kind of doing it now with all the devices and electronics we have, but only now we've got it in our head. This also brings up telepathy with electronics and all kinds of things, really. Now, if you can think that fast, writers would write books in hours. Video game designers would have a new game every day. And I mean AAA, like a new Call of Duty. Instead of every November-ish, try every day. Of course, you can think faster too, so you'll probably beat it and get sick of it way quicker than that. So yeah, you're not going to get bored, especially given you can explore space. Go find a planet, colonize, freaking become the ruler of a society of apes. Do what you want. Because, oh yeah, did I mention money's not going to be an issue either? Money is not going to be an issue. The only thing you're really going to want to worry about is maybe fame and how much people globally and galactically like you. Now, that shouldn't be hard if you're a video game designer from Activision or Activision 3 billion, who knows. But money isn't going to be an issue because we're already working with 3D printers. And what 3D printers do is they can build physical objects out of a design on the internet. You can get on the internet, download, say, a remote. It'll print a remote. We're not quite advanced enough for electronics yet, but they are also affected by Moore's law, so we're getting better and better with them. So who knows? I do, I'm telling you. We're going to be eventually being able to print anything and everything, including food. And not only that, we're going to be able to print them from any material whatsoever. Put in a rock and you can come out with a brick of gold. It's just a matter of rearranging matter on the atomic scale and molecular level, from like the replicator from Star Trek. It's pretty neat, to be honest. And when you can build anything you could possibly want out of rocks, and you can get it in your house, what's the need for money? You can get anything you want just by asking for it. So, yeah, that's a utopia. No money is necessary. Everyone has plenty, infinite plenties, and everybody can go about their own pursuits. So, have fun. This is the Futurist Gamer, signing off.